What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James here, man. I'm back in the building, and I'm just going to jump on here right quick. I gave my thoughts about a few days ago about the Kelvin Joseph situation. Now more news is in about Kelvin Joseph, and now I'm just kind of giving my ending thoughts on it. And the title is basically, should the Cowboys cut Kelvin Joseph? It's an interesting topic right now. Should the boys get rid of second-year cornerback Kelvin Joseph? We'll go to a few things right here to kind of plead the case on, I guess, both sides. And I'll pull this up right now. So we all obviously know about the news broke last Thursday. The Dallas police officers were looking to speak with Dallas Cowboys second-year cornerback Kelvin Joseph in relation to a fatal shooting that happened on March 18th. The victim, Cameron Ray, was shot by an unknown person in an SUV after Ray had an altercation with a group of men outside a nightclub. The Cowboys player was part of the group. At the time of our last article, Joseph was not believed to be the shooter, but was requested to talk to the police to get more information about the unsolved murder. So, if you've been following the story, it basically breaks it down, everything right there. And then in the official statement by the lawyer for Kelvin Joseph, basically saying he was not the shooter. He was in the vehicle, but was not the shooter and was not armed. That came out later after Kelvin Joseph basically talked to you. As I said before, you see where he basically apologized to the family, which, I had my thoughts on it. I said basically you were just apologizing because you got caught, and basically give my own thoughts on that. So basically, Kelvin Joseph talked to the police officers, and further investigation by detectives identified Aries Jones and Tavion English as the shooters. Jones and English turned themselves in to Dallas police and were taken to Dallas County Jail. Police believe Kelvin Joseph not shooter in the Cameron Ray's death. And as you can see right there, Kelvin Joseph was not charged. Now you see what could be happening right here. In addition to the continued investigation from the police, NFL front office has launched an investigation into the situation as well. League executives will work together to see if Joseph violated any NFL rules, such as the personal conduct policy. If the Cowboys is found to have broken any league rules, he will likely incur a fine or suspension. Joseph not being arrested is good news, but the entirety of the case will likely not be fully resolved before September if he wants a starting. Will have to be resolved if he wants to receive a starting role in Week 1. So basically saying that he's safe. When you listen to that, saying right there he could be safe. Here's a report from John Jocks Taylor, longtime Cowboy journalist. He says why the Cowboys should cut Kelvin Joseph sooner rather than later. I'm getting tongue-tied right here. And then on Law Nation's page, I just saw it, and I'm sure he's went live about it. Shout out to Law on this. But this is per Jean-Jacques Taylor as well. He says this is why you should cut Kelvin Joseph. You shouldn't want a player on your team who was reportedly a passenger in a drive-by shooting that left a man dead and refused to tell the police about it. The Cowboys advised him to contact the police, and he declined until he was identified in a video and became a person of interest in the case. So, let me get right here. So me just kind of ending on this, and then we hear about also reports. John Jacques Taylor also reported in his article that they were having problems with him during the year, being unreliable, was just little things that were going on with the unreliability. He can't trust you, those type of things. And then you have this situation. Now, first, I want to say something right quick. I posted something on my Twitter, and I said something on here. I ain't, really apologizing about it. I said he looked hood. I probably shouldn't have said it that way because, everybody was like, what does hood look like? Hood, oh my God, here we go. What if somebody from a different community said that we've been in uproar? I get it. You're maybe the words should have been worded different, but I still meant what I said. He still hood. Okay? I don't care if you don't like what I said about it. All right? And you did hood things. And hood don't have a color. Just so you know, hood don't have a color. So if I say, oh, he look hood or he a hood cat, I ain't saying he's a certain race because I said he was hood. Hood can be any color, any race, anywhere. Factamundo. Okay? So people chill with that. Calm down. But just my thoughts, should the Cowboys cut Kelvin Joseph? I guess I'm in between. The only reason why I'm in between, the little bit of me hanging on for Kelvin Joseph is because, I want to see him be okay. But I feel like if it push came to shove and they were like, yes or no, I would say more yes cutting him than no. I would say yes, you would cut him because, number one, things that stood out to me were, he apologized to the family a month later. That was because you got caught, in my opinion, because this has been a month and you weren't. And if it says what says true, that you knew about this and the Cowboys told you to go to the police and you chose not to and people were saying, oh, Boss Man was a rat because he told on the dudes and they got the two guys got caught up, but he wasn't going to tell. He wasn't going to say nothing. So that's why I go back to, was the apology even authentic to the family of the kid? Because you came out and said, oh, I apologize to the community and whatever, but you was never even going to tell. You was never even going to say nothing. So to me, that apology was not even real to the family. So basically, in my opinion, you didn't even care. And if the police never said anything about this or it never got found out, y'all would have never told and nobody would ever said nothing about this. So that's, to me, alarming. If you're playing in the NFL, you can't do that. So that's why I feel like you got to cut him more than keep him. And if he was doing immaturity issues during the season already, and he already had red flags before he came into the league with attitude issues and things of that nature. Now you have this incident. You're having little things going on this year. Then you have this big incident, a murder case, not a regular, a murder case, which he was in the vehicle where there were shooters. You're hanging out with these individuals that are shooters. The company you keep, red flags. You probably should cut him. Yes, he was a second-round draft pick. You probably say you don't want to do that because he was a second-round draft pick. He has the potential, but this ain't about that right now. This is about, if you're looking at from a football standpoint, you letting players just stay on your team that do those type of things and there's no repercussion from it. It doesn't matter if the NFL punishes him. There's got to be some kind of punishment from the team saying, well, we're going to have to just move on from you. Because there was already incidents going on. You weren't going to say anything. And just, we just got to move on from, because this is a cloud already that the Cowboys already have with the Jerry Jones, with his cases, with the paternity case, not the greatest offseason with Amari Cooper, that situation. And he came out, just a lot of things came out in Dallas right now. Rich D, with the cheerleading case. So you got a lot of bad things that are hanging over Dallas right now. So if you were to keep him when you already have that negativity already on Dallas, it's not going to bode well for the organization. People saying, see, this is the type of organization Dallas runs. And you've already had those issues with plenty of players prior in the Cowboys' time there. So this would not look good to say, well, we're just going to keep him and we'll figure it out. Because this is stuff that was already going on before he came with the Cowboys, red flags. So my opinion, more cut Kelvin Joseph than keep, and you can find another player in the draft We talked about it. Jay Tuck got me hooked on that Asante Samuel. Once again, I made a video about him. In the first minute of the video, if you listen to him, he says, I'm a dog. Don't go by the size. Don't go by the measurables. I'm a dog. And what'd he do? He turned up last year, and he was available for the Cowboys. Stop going on the measurables all the time because measurables don't go over character. And Asante Samuel's character, because his dad was an NFL player and his dad was over a 10-year veteran, and we know about him. You had better bloodlines, and it was more of a safer pick. And he's just as good. So we'll see what happens. But my thoughts, cut Kelvin Joseph. I agree. Give me your thoughts and comments. Should Jay cut Kelvin Joseph? I'd like to hear what you got to say. Give me a follow on my Facebook.